Okay, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. What is it? What is today? Is it Friday? It's Friday morning, man. Friday the 9th. Got a little bit of rain last night. Not a big deal. They said it's going to rain really hard, but I ain't seen it yet. So, but it doesn't stop me, as long as it ain't physically raining. So I got about 4 that I'm going to go do real quick. Not a problem. But y'all, I don't really know what Zach's gonna do. I ain't mad at him or nothing really, because it's just, well, I have a I mean to be perfectly honest, the reason I'm not really mad at Zach or anything is because I played a part in it too. Okay, and I well, I'm grown, number one, and I can look in the mirror and I can say, could I have handled that different? And that's the only way that we as people, forget about working and landscaping and blah, blah, blah. Forget about all that. That's the only way we as people can get better, is if we're brutally honest with ourselves. And if you can't, look in the mirror at everything and try to stand in the middle and say, okay, this is my role in the situation yesterday, and accept that, and know that I didn't handle it like I was supposed to either. Okay. I could have handled it better. And the one thing that YouTube and doing the videos really does, and you don't have to be on YouTube to do it, but one thing that YouTube has really done for me as a person is it's made me have to analyze my own behavior. And dude, it is very eye-opening. So even if you don't do YouTube and you just do a video like I do every day, and then you go home and you watch the video and you see your interaction with people, you see how you are doing things, you could probably learn a whole lot about yourself. I mean, that's true. So, and that's kind of where I'm at with yesterday. That's why I'm not mad, because, well, I played a part in it too. And I'm a big boy, things don't hurt my feelings for long. And though Zach, at the end of the day, dude didn't want to do those bushes that I asked him to do. And these are bushes that he's done 1,000 times. And they were a little bit taller than the other bushes. And those are the bushes I wanted him to do. And he pretty much refused to do that. Now, he wanted her to do it. And I didn't want her to do it. I wanted him to do it. Because me being the owner, I know what the expectations are. And it was going to take her longer. And he had not done any bushes over there at that point. But he was going to make sure that he didn't do any bushes. And I think it was more about something between him and her than me and him. That's what I think. Now, I don't know that for sure. I think that he had an attitude with her, and I felt the brunt of that. And when I feel like that, I'm not going to deal with that for long. When I'm paying both of them. Okay. And if Zach had worked and finished with us and done work while I was gone. See, one thing I didn't put in the video yesterday, just because I forgot, was the fact that I went to the Fayette County dump over there, which was about 15 minutes away from there. I went to the Fayette County dump in the other truck, and they were going to charge me to take their refrigerator. And I was like, well, if you're going to charge me, and there was a long line, you know, so I would have probably been there for at least an hour. So I told her, you know, I drove down there, and once I saw that they could take everything except for the refrigerator, then I knew I was going to have to deal with it again, you know, today. And I'm not getting any money for it. I'm having to pay them to take the other stuff, and that refrigerator is pretty heavy. And I knew that I had a few things here that I could throw on there too for the scrapyard. So when I got back from the wasted trip, 30 minutes later, the wasted trip to the dump, Zach had not done anything. He had not done nothing the whole time I was gone too. And of course, this was after me and him had our little wording, you know, where was I was trying to, what happened was when I was getting ready to leave to go to the dump, I was giving Zach the instructions that I wanted him to do. I didn't want a lot of fanfare. I didn't want a lot of, you know, talk. I was just say, hey, I need you to do these bushes. I got the mower set on the right height for Katie to go cut that backyard, and that's what we're going to do. And then that's when he, you know, came back at me and said, well, she said she's going to do the bushes. So, and I'm like, well, no, but she's not going to do the bushes. I want you to do them. I want you to do that last little set of bushes, like I said yesterday. So then, according to Zach, that's all he said. But see, it's all the little things that he said. Well, and I'm telling him, well, it's going to take longer. Well, it's only like 5 minutes longer. It's going to take, it's only like 3 minutes longer, 4 minutes longer, 8 minutes longer, whatever. And me and him had a little banter before I told him shut up, or you know, before I threatened him. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm 53 years old, and I don't deal well with folks that I'm looking out after, and I feel like that. I'm looking out for Zach. I have done a lot of things for Zach off the camera that I don't even talk about. Not to mention I'm paying good. You know, I even picked them up yesterday morning. Went and picked them up. So I don't deal with that kind of thing real well when I'm asking for a specific instructions, to tell you specific instructions that I want you to do while I go take care of this, because this has got to get done too. And of course, if Zach was you know, more privy to what's going on, then I would not have had a problem sending Zach to the dump. But there are so many things that can go wrong at the dump that Zach is just oblivious to. So I don't trust his judgment. I trust him, but I don't trust his judgment, having to pull up in there, having to weigh on the scale, having to back up in there, make sure you don't run over nothing, having to do all the little things, get back on the scale, pay, and, you know, and all that. That I never send him to do that, because he hasn't really proven to me that he's capable of doing that and me feel right about it. Now, he might be capable of doing it, but I don't feel like his judgment is there yet. Will it ever be there as far as I'm concerned? I don't know. But I had much rather have me stayed on the job and let Zach go to the dump. But I know Zach, he don't know where the dump is, he don't know where to park at, he don't know where to pull up at, he don't know anything about anything, because he doesn't focus on anything. I mean, he still rides by properties, that he's been doing for 6 or 7 years. You know. But the whole reason why I got so angry was his refusal to do what I asked him to do. Let's start there when we're talking about what happened yesterday. Let's don't talk about my actions so much and his actions so much. Let's talk about what brought it to that point, the root of the problem. See, I'm all about the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is, and Zach, if you're watching, whatever, you know, the root of the problem is the fact that I asked Zach a very reasonable request and he refused to do it. I mean, he didn't say, Ray, screw you, I'm not going to do that. No, he did it in his own, he refused to do it in his own way. But my brain is telling me, this is what my brain's telling me, screw you, Ray, I ain't doing that. She's going to do that. I'm not doing that. That's what my brain is saying. And at the end of the day, I just don't deal well with that. And I need to work on my reaction and all of that. That's what I need to work on that. You know. But I don't feel bad about it. I just don't, you know. And it doesn't matter, I don't care if he feels bad about it either. It doesn't matter to me. There are certain things that, you know, that if somebody asks you to do when they're paying you and taking care of, you know, here I am out here trying to generate more work, trying to do this, trying to do that, and trying to pay more than what other people pay, picking them up and everything, and this is what I get, see? And when I think about all of that, and then his refusal yesterday, then that prompts me to do what I did, right? And to say what I said. Because he wants to continue arguing with me. And see, that's where me and Bo had a problem too. Because I'd tell Bo to do something, and then Bo would say, well, why ain't he doing it? See, when you're an employee, you don't worry about what the other folks are doing. Don't worry about it. You just do what the guy that's paying you asks you to do. That's all you got to do. It's real simple. Quit trying to think about things. Don't worry about it. Because I'm not asking Bo or Zach or whoever to do anything outside of the job. You know. So, for the guys that come in the comment and want to say things like, well, you need to get out there and help them and all that, I'm doing my job. My job is to set up work, fill in the gaps, make sure we're getting paid, make sure I'm scheduling to be efficient, to make sure that we're getting the work done according to the expectations of the customer, to make sure I invoice, to make sure I pay taxes, to make sure I got gas in all the mowers, to make sure I got everything that we need to make money out here at a high level. That's what my job is. My job definition is not to do the bushes, though I can, and though I do, and though I probably will again. That is not my job description. And at the end of the day, if it wasn't for me having to pay labor, then I wouldn't do bush jobs at all, because I know I can make more money somewhere else. So for the folks coming in the comments trying to tell me what my job is, trying to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing, when I'm out here before they get here, and I'm out here when they go home. And then I got to go in and do the invoicing and scheduling and collections and the phone calls and the parts rundown and everything else too. That is work. I don't know what the hell some of these losers talking about, but all that's work. Because if I don't do that, who does it? Ask yourself. It's nothing for me to spend 10 hours a day working. Whether you see it in the field or not, whether you see it, it doesn't matter. I work all the time. Everything I do out here that you see is all a part of working. I'm working right now because I'm thinking about the best way to get all this stuff off my trailers to get it to the scrap yard so I can be done with that and move on to something else. That is work. The thought process is work. In case some of you losers didn't know that. Because if that kind of thing doesn't happen, then what do we do then? If I don't take the stuff off that trailer, what do I do then? I can't put a mower on there. What I'm going to do is pile it up at my house? Not me. Is that not considered work? Is not running down parts for the mowers considered work? Is not changing the oil in my truck, is that not considered work? Is making sure we get paid and making sure the scheduling is on point where everybody can make good money, is that not work? Please answer. Please tell me. Is invoicing and making sure that we are getting these jobs done in a timely fashion, is that not work? Is making sure gas is in the trucks and trailers and the tires on the trailers and the mowers got fuel in it and we got mix and we got weed eater string and we got all the stuff it takes to run the business, is that not work? Because guess what? I do all of that. Every bit of it. Is worrying about how we're going to do this job or that job, is that not work? Is making sure that I do my taxes and stuff every year, is that not work? Is keeping up with my expenses on the daily, is that not work? To some of you guys that, and I don't know, what you consider work is weed eating and edging and doing bushes and mowing grass. Y'all consider that work, and that is work. But to be out here making the most money, there's so much more than that goes into running a lawn care business, a landscape business. But if you think that when we pull up here in the afternoon at 3 o'clock or whatever, if you think it's over, well, you're sadly misled. Sadly. And that tells me that you don't really know what the hell is going on in a business. That tells me that you probably work for the man. That's what that tells me. Or you working in such a way out here for yourself that you ain't very efficient and you probably are struggling to make a profit. I run the business in a way that's friendly for me, because the business in my life is all one. I don't go to a job, punch a clock, come home from that job, punch out at 3 or 4 o'clock, and then come home and sit on the couch and do it the next day. No, there's a lot more to it than that. I ain't never off work. Never. So for all you losers that want to come in the comments and say I need to be out there helping them, without me, none of that, they ain't even out there. Without me, we're not doing any of that work. Because, well, without me, there's no tools. Without me, there's no financing a job. Without me, there's no scheduling a job. Without me, there's no collecting the money for the jobs we've already done. Without me, this train don't go. But without the help, the train does go. See? Learn your place. Not that I'm better than them, because I'm not. Just know that my job is one thing, and when I hire people, their job is something else, totally different. And I hate to say it so bluntly, but their job is what I tell them their job is. If I'm hiring them and I'm paying them, their job is what I say that it is. There's no set job. It's what I tell them to do. That's what the job is. If they don't like it, they can find a job somewhere else. But every job that you go to, your job is whatever the owner or the people that are paying you, that's what your job is. Whatever they tell you it is. Not what you think it is. Just saying. Good luck on all that. Because folks ain't going for that. They're not gonna come to a job and do what the hell you want to do. Listen, you know, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. The job is, well, by definition, I pay you to do a task. That's the job. Well, Ray, what about all the disrespect, man? You're disrespecting the guys and all that. I don't disrespect anybody until they come at me stupid. Referring back to, your job is what I tell you your job is when you work for me and I'm paying you. That's what your job is. And if I tell you to do something that's reasonable, then just do it. You'll see that everybody will be better off. Because ain't nobody going to win. Ain't going to win. I can take a hit. I don't have to make, $500 a day, $600 a day. I don't have to. Can you take a hit? Can you find another job that's going to pay you $20 an hour, give or take? Sometimes more than that. Yesterday, if dude had not done what he did yesterday while I was gone to the dump and everything, if he had continued working and done things like I told him to do things, then we would have been done before 1, y'all. Before 1. We was done, hell, we'd have been done around 12:15 or so. Zach would have got, he probably would have got $100 to $120. Because, see, if he had worked the whole time and not do what he did, then, see, we could have done 3 more properties. And that would have took the money on up there for him. And for Katie. But since he wanted to act like a little baby and do what he wanted to do on a job that I'm paying him on, he went all the way backwards. I'm talking about reverse. He had to pay somebody to carry him up out of there. Well, that was dumb. That was a dumb thing to do. What are you going? You making a point? You're not hurting me. You saw Katie stay because Katie knows that what I was asking Zach to do was perfectly reasonable. that what I was asking him to do was, well, you know, just what he always does. Every time that we do those bushes over there, Zach does those bushes, that one hedge. Because everything that happened yesterday, and I'll say it one more time, it goes right back to just do what I ask you to do. Zach would have been at $25 an hour yesterday. Instead, he wants to sit there and pout and go backwards and pay somebody to come and get him out of there. And pay somebody, you're in reverse, right? You're backwards. And then not get paid full wage for the day, you're backwards again. And yeah, going into the fall. Don't show your ass now, because that ain't smart. If you're gonna show your ass in the middle of the summer. Don't show your ass when the weather's laying down. Especially when you haven't covered your own butt on making sure that you are paying for the things that you need to pay for to be able to make it through the winter. At the end of the day, you need me more than I need you. That's just, maybe one day it won't be like that, but right now that's what it is. All right, y'all.